Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol.
Hare Krishna, how are you?
How are you? Fine, it's fine. Oh, sorry.
Good, so we start now. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshuruminitarnyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sakana Ratnata Vitamtam Sativam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paridana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavanishari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are welcome to this section. So today we are reading a very nice verse talking about the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It's very, very sweet to talk about the glories of the holy name, because developing attachment to the holy name of Krishna is the perfection of life. You can develop attachment for chanting the names of Krishna, then you don't need to do any other thing. Just do only that. But if you don't have attachment for chanting the holy name of Krishna, then you have to do other activities, as long as you don't have attraction for that holy name. Okay, let's start. So I'm going to share it. 1 minute. Okay, I should just do it like this. 1 minute. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Prabhu. We can hear you.
Okay. I hope my head is not bending. Okay. I'm trying to do my camera well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are in test number 7 today. Siya Krishna Nama Charitari Sita Pya Vidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Rochi Kanu Ketwadara Dano Dinam Kalusaiva Justa Swadi Kramad Bhavati Targada Mulam Matrit. Sya Krishna Nama Charitari Sita Pyavidya Pito Pata Tarasanasya Naruchi Kano Kitwa Daro Dinam Kalu Saiva Jushta Swari Gramad Bhavatitar Gada Munamatri Sya Krishna Nama Charitari Sita Pyavidya Pito patapta rasanasya naruchikano. Ketwa dado dinam kanuna saiva justa. Sa swadi dwi kramad bhavati tadgada munatri. So let's do word-to-word translation. Syat is Krishna of Lord Krishna. Nama, the holy name.
The holy name.
Charita Adi, character, pastimes, and so forth. Sita, sugar candy. Happy, although. Avidya, ignorance. Vita, vile. Upatata, afflicted. Rasanasya, of the tongue. Na, not. Rochika, palatable. No. Oh, how wonderful it is.
Oh, how wonderful it is.
Kintu, bird.
But
Adarat, carefully. Anodinam, every day or 24 hours daily.
every day or 24 hours daily.
Kano, naturally.
Sa
That sugar of the holy name.
that sugar candy of the holy name.
That sugar candy of the holy name.
That sugar candy of the holy name.
Eva. Certainly. Justa. Taken or chanted. Swadwi. Relishable. Kramat. Gradually. Bhavati. Comes. Tadgada. Of that disease. Mola. Of the roots. And three. The destroyer. So translation of Papa by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the only name, character, pastimes, and activity of Krishna are transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Please repeat.
The holy
The
name,
holy name,
The holy name,
character,
the holy name, character, pastimes, and
pastimes, and
activities of
activities of
Krishna
Krishna
are all
are all
transcendently
transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Although
Although
the tongue
the tongue of one
of
afflicted
one
by the
afflicted by the
joints of
jaundice of
avidya
avidya,
ignorance cannot
ignorance,
taste
cannot
anything
taste
sweet.
anything sweet.
It is
It
wonderful
is
that
wonderful
simply by
that simply by
chanting
carefully
the sweet
chanting the sweet
names
names
every
every
day,
day,
a natural relish
natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his
is
disease is
gradually
gradually
destroyed at
destroyed
the
at
root.
the roots.
Thank you very much. So why we are not relishing the holy name of Krishna? Can somebody tell me without looking at the book now?
It is because Prabhupada mentioned it is because of avidya or ignorance.
Thank you very much. Avidya or ignorance. Because one who is in the mode of ignorance, spiritual activity will be so bitter for such person. It's like when you ask the person to chant, it's like you are forcing the person, you know, like, oh, we have to chant again. You know? Okay, so let's read Prabhupada's purport. Who want to read? Who's very enthusiastic to read?
I can read.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please, if you are not using your mic, please always off your mic if you are not using it. Continue, Prabhu.
Yes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada. The holy name of the Lord, or the holy name of Lord Krishna, His quality, pastimes, and so forth, are all of the nature of absolute truth, beauty and bliss. Naturally, they are very sweet, like sugar candy, which appeals to everyone. Science, however, is compared to the disease called jaundice, which is caused by bilious secretions or bilious secretions. Attacked by jaundice, the tongue of a diseased person cannot palatably relish sugar candy. Rather, a person with jaundice considers something sweet to taste very bitter. Avidya, ignorance, similarly perverts the ability to relish the transcendentally palatable name, quality, form, and pastimes of Krishna. Despite this disease, if one with great care and attention takes to Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name and hearing Krishna's transcendental pastimes, his ignorance will be destroyed, and his tongue enabled to taste the sweetness of the transcendental nature of Krishna and his paraphernalia. Such a recovery of spiritual health is possible only by the regular cultivation of Krishna consciousness. When a man in the material world takes more interest in the materialistic way of life than in Krishna consciousness, he is considered to be in a diseased condition. The normal condition is to remain an eternal servant of the Lord. Jivera Swarupa Haya Krishnera Nityadas.
Well, let's stop there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
So, Prabhupada is saying here, if we take pleasure in ordinary material activity without Krishna consciousness, we are afflicted by a disease of jaundice, ignorance. Have you seen somebody who have jaundice before? Anybody have seen anyone who has jaundice before?
Yes, Prabhuji, are actually color yellow. The skin is color yellow.
Oh, you have seen?
Yeah, I've saw somebody like this. They have like something like hepatitis, something like this. They look so yellow, and then the eyes, the color is yellow.
Okay, very good.
Krishna.
So such person, they cannot taste anything sweet. When you give them sugar candy, it tastes very bitter. But is sugar candy bitter? No, it's not bitter. But in the mouth of someone who has disease jaundice, it will taste bitter. So similarly, all of us, we are in that condition now. We cannot relish the names of Krishna. We are all struggling to chant the names of Krishna. when you are in the association of devotee, you know, it looks very easy for you to chant, you know, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, very sweet. But when you go far away from the devotee association, then you know how it's not easy to chant alone. Very difficult. You know? So this name of Krishna is very, very wonderful. Like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. And one who is afflicted by material, you know, disease of avidya, ignorance. So actually, ignorance and passion is what we are fighting against in this material world, because this material world is controlled by the three modes of nature. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Tribi gunai baba yebi sarva meba dam jagat. Moitam nabi janati. Mame beyam pram abiyaya. Covered by the three modes, the whole world does not know me. Supreme Lord, beyond the mode and inexhaustible. So because we are covered by the modes of nature, that is why we cannot appreciate Krishna, we cannot understand Krishna. Then Krishna goes further in the next verse. Devi Esha Guna Mayi Mama Maya Duratiyaya. Maya Metam Tarantite, you know. Say Devi Esha Guna Mayi Mama Maya Duratiyaya. Mam ye beba prapadante Maya Metam Tarantite. Krishna mentioned Bhagavad Gita. So Devi Esha Guna Mayi. Devi Esha Guna Mayi. Devi Esha Guna Mayi. What is the Guna Mayi? Krishna said, Guna Mayi. Devi Esha, this material energy, Guna Mayi. The three modes of material nature, they are my energy. Devi Esha Guna Mayi. Mama Maya Dratya. They are my Maya. These three modes that is controlling all of us. All of us in this world, we are controlled by these three modes. The other day I was explaining very, you know, elaborately about the three modes, the quality of those who are in the different modes, those who are in the mode of ignorance, how they behave, you know, always violently hungry, you know, space out, love to sleep too much, you know, like that. And so many other symptoms like that. So when you are in the mode of ignorance and passion, you don't have control over yourself. You are pushed to act. You know, you are just, you push to act. You know, whatever happens, you are pushed to act. Because you are under the influence of mode of passion and ignorance. When you are in the mode of goodness, when you elevate yourself to the mode of goodness, before you act, you think. That is different between one in the mode of goodness and the one in the lower mode. One in the mode of goodness is controlled by knowledge. So here is saying that why we don't have taste for this chanting of the holy name of Krishna is because of the disease, material disease of avidya, ignorance. So all our spiritual activity we are practicing is to try as much as possible to elevate us from the mode of ignorance and passion and bring us to the mode of goodness. Being established in the irrevocable devotional service, one immediately transcends the lower modes, which are lust, anger, greed. Then the devotee is established on the platform of goodness. So we have to, by regularly, so how do we transcend this mode? How do we come to the mode of goodness? Like Prabhupada saying, Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned in the verse, that is why we don't have taste. So the solution also is given there. What is the solution? Who can tell me without looking at the book?
Chant.
Huh?
Chant.
What is the solution?
Sorry, solution?
What is the solution? Yeah.
Chant the holy name without having offense.
No, that is not what is meant. That is not what is mentioned in the verse. I want what is mentioned in the verse. Without looking at the book. We already read it. Don't look at the book. Don't look at the book. I'm seeing your faces. Don't look at the book. What is the solution without looking at the book?
Chanting the holy name and hearing the pastimes of Krishna.
No, that is not what the solution is given there. Don't look at the book.
Talking about the beautiful pastime of our sweet Lord.
No, I'm talking about what Srila Rupa mentioned in the verse as the solution. No.
Talking.
The answer.
Yeah, speak, Babu. Everybody is speaking. Speak. Go ahead.
Prabhupada writes that one who is
I'm talking about
afflicted by
Srila Rupa
jaundice.
Goswami. Srila Rupa
Can you hear
Goswami
me?
from the verse.
I'm saying that Prabhupada writes that one who is afflicted by jaundice thinks that sugar candy tastes bitter.
That is not the solution.
But
That is not the solution. I'm
he
talking
must
about the
take
solution.
sugar.
The solution, regular cultivation of Krishna consciousness.
That is not what is mentioned in the verse. Don't look at the book. I was thinking whether we are following the translation. Okay, now you can look at your book. What is written in the verse as a solution?
Carefully chanting the holy names every day.
You have to put it there. You cannot remove it every day. That is very, very important. Okay, you are chanting. No, how do you chant? That is the solution.
Carefully.
By regularly doing what?
Chanting.
Okay, read directly from the book, please.
If one great care and attention takes to Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name and hearing transcendental pastime.
No, read the verse. Read the verse itself. The verse. You're talking about the verse. Nothing on the verse.
The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice or of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names,
that is the solution.
Chanting the sweet
A natural release awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root.
Thank you very much. That the solution is there in that verse. The Srila Rupa Goswami is telling us our problem. Our problem is that we are afflicted with avidya, ignorance. That is why we don't have taste for chanting the holy name of. Then towards the end, he gave the solution. He said, "What is the solution?"
Carefully chanting.
By
Carefully chanting every day.
Chanting every day.
Carefully.
By chanting the holy name, carefully chanting the holy name of the Lord every day. Now let us go into the word-to-word translation. Prabhupada in the translation, Prabhupada use something else. Let's go there. In the translation, it's in the word-to-word translation, instead of putting ordinary every day, Prabhupada put something, he added something. If somebody can detect it, please bring it out fast.
Sorry, Prabhuji. What did you say?
24 hours a day.
Yes, Prabhupada said regularly chanting every day or what? 24 hours a day. Have you find it? Are we there? You have not seen it? Anudinam. Have you seen it? Anudinam.
Anudinam means every day or 24 hours daily.
But what? See, Prabhupada translated word-to-word translation. He translated there every day or 24 hours a day. Then he came into the translation. He didn't put 24 hours. Go and read the translation again. Let somebody read the translation again. Somebody should read the translation very loud again.
The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root.
So Prabhupada, in the word-to-word translation, Anudinam, he added every day or 24 hours a day. Then he came to the translation, because he's translating for us. He added every day. The same thing also is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Satatam Kitayanto Mam. Then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also translated also. Satatam can means every day, or Satatam can means 24 hours a day. The 24 hours a day is possible for the pure devotee of the Lord. They cannot stop thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day. But for us, neophytes, we have to do that every day. At least if it is 2 hours we are doing every day, we have to do 2 hours every day without fail for many years. For us to be able to transcend the modes, we have to do that 2 hours every day without fail. Mam chayo vebia charena, bhakti yogena sevate, saguna samati itam, brahma buya yakapate. Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Krishna says, by engaging in devotional service unfailingly in all circumstances, then one can transcend the modes. So by regularly, carefully chanting, so attentively we have to chant. So don't ask me why somebody has remained in ISKCON for 40 years, but he has not given up his bad habits. Don't ask me why. Because he is not carefully chanting the name of the Lord regularly every day. Don't ask me why somebody has spent 30 years, he has not controlled his or her anger. Don't ask me why somebody has spent 50 years in ISKCON, he's still having so much spiritual challenges. He cannot control his senses. Don't ask me. Because it's not following this instruction given by Srila Rupa Goswami. If we are not following very carefully, we cannot get the same result. We have to carefully and attentively chant 16 rounds every day. Prabhupada said minimum, not maximum. Minimum 16 rounds every day. If you chant carefully, carefully also can mean attentively. Every day without fail. Every day without fail. How many times we have missed chanting our rounds? How many times? We have forgotten, we cannot even keep tracks. We have forgotten, we cannot keep tracks how many times we are struggling finishing our rounds. We drag it for the whole day, then at night we are struggling. Oh, I want to finish it. Oh. Then immediately, sometimes we chant it, once we finish it, still at, oh, hang it there, it's following money. You hang it on the wall, following money. Yeah, jai, I finished today. You know? So carefully chanting the names of the Lord every day, then one can develop taste for chanting. It is mentioned, Namachinta Mane Krishna. It is mentioned in Padma Purana. Namachinta Mane Krishna. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Say, Nitam Sudo Mukto Binatwam Naminamino. It is mentioned. Namachintamani Krishna. Krishna name is Chintamani. What is Chintamani? Chintamani means touchstone. So whatever Krishna name touches, it will transform that. So if we are carefully, attentively associate with Krishna's name every day of our life without fail, every day, same time. It's very, very important to keep the same time every day chanting our rounds. Same time every day. That is the power of devotional service. If you really want to get the result of devotional service, every day, particular time, we have to be seriously chanting this name of Krishna attentively, carefully. Every day we have to do it. Then if we can do that for many years, then we will achieve perfection. It is mentioned that in the Brahma Purana, is it Brahmanda Purana, something, in one of the Purana of Brahma, that for one to be liberated, you have to chant 1 billion holy names. It's just for arithmetics. If you chant one pure name of Krishna, you'll be liberated. But it is mentioned for, for arithmetic, you have to chant 1 billion. Why do you think that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took vow to chant 1 billion holy names? Because he want to take the holy name, he want to show us how to be serious in chanting the holy name of Krishna. For 10 years, he was chanting 64 rounds. Is it 64 rounds? The same? No. 300,000 holy name, the same round that Haridas Thakur was chanting. For 10 years, he was chanting. Before started his preaching. For 10 years, he was consecutively chanting. Was always very austere. Then after that 10 years, the spiritual world was revealed to him in Mayapur. He saw Vrindavan. That's why when you go to Pakistan Saraswati Thakur Temple, you will see they would show you Govardhan, they will show you Radhakund. Because after finishing this chanting, he saw all these wonderful places in Mayapur. And you could see that the Mayapur is not different from Vrindavan. Then he dreamed and he saw his guru, the Paramparam. They told him to go to start the preaching. Then that is when he started preaching. So if we really want the mercy of the holy name, we have to do it every day. If you really want to relish devotional service, if you really want to change, if we want to change our bad habits, we have to attentively chant the holy name of Krishna every day. So let's continue with the Prabhupada's purport when Prabhupada is talking. Okay? Then we'll come back again. Can we continue reading? Who is going to continue the reading? The one who knows where we stop. Who is reading?
Okay. Prabhu, I will read. When a man in the material world takes more interest in the materialistic way of life than in Krishna consciousness, he is considered to be in diseased condition. The normal condition is to remain an eternal servant of the Lord. Jivera Swarupa Haya Krishnera Nitya Dasa. This healthy condition is lost when the living entity forgets Krishna due to being attracted by the external features of Krishna's Maya energy. This world of Maya is called Durasraya, which means false or bad shelter. One who puts his faith in Durasraya becomes a candidate for hoping against hope. In the material world...
Babaji, let us analyze that word, Durasraya, okay? I like analyzing Sanskrit word and I know the meaning, okay? So that you can learn the meaning and you can understand it. You understand? See that word, Durasraya, is two words joined together. D-U-R, dur, means difficult. Okay? Ashraya means shelter. So when you take the shelter of Maya, it's called Durasraya because Maya is very difficult for us to control, although we think that we can control Maya. So Durasraya means taking shelter of material energy of Krishna. Dur, Ashraya. Okay? Continue, Prabhu. Thank you.
In the material world, everyone is trying to become happy. And although their material attempts are baffled in every way, due to their nescience, they cannot understand their mistakes. People try to rectify one mistake by making another mistake. This is the way of struggle for existence in the material world. If one in this condition is advised to take to Krishna consciousness and be happy, he does not accept such instructions. This Krishna consciousness movement is being spread all over the world just to remedy this gross ignorance. People in general are misled by blind leaders, the leaders of human society. The politicians, philosophers, and scientists are blind because they are not Krishna conscious. According to Bhagavad Gita, because they are bereft of all factual knowledge due to their aesthetic way of life, they are actually sinful rascals and are the lowest among men. Namam drukstrino mudha prapadyante narad hamaha mayaya praritaj jana asuram babam asritaha. those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of Atitis nature of demon, do not surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 7.15. Such people never surrender to Krishna, and they oppose the endeavor of those who wish to take Krishna's shelter. When such atheists become leaders of society, the entire atmosphere is surcharged with nations. In such a condition, people do not become very enthusiastic to receive this Krishna consciousness movement. Just as a diseased person suffering from jaundice does not relish the taste of sugar candy. However, one must know that for jaundice, sugar candy is the only specific medicine. Similarly, in the present confused state of humanity, Krishna consciousness, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
is the only remedy for setting the world aright. Although Krishna consciousness may not be very palatable for a diseased person, Sri Rupa Goswami nonetheless advises that if one wants to be cured of the material disease, he must take to it with great care and attention. One begins his treatment by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because by chanting this holy name of the Lord, a person in the material condition will be relieved from all misconceptions. Seto Darpana Marjanam. Avidya, a misconception about one's spiritual identity, provides the foundation for ahankara, or false ego, within the heart. The real disease is in the heart. If the mind is cleansed, however, if consciousness is cleansed, a person cannot be harmed by material disease. To cleanse the mind and heart from all misconceptions, one should take to this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is both easy and beneficial. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is immediately freed from the blazing fire of material existence. There are 3 stages in chanting the holy name of the Lord. The offensive stage, the stage of lessening offenses, and the pure stage. When a neophyte takes the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, he generally commits many offenses. There are 10 basic offenses, and if the devotee avoids this, he can glimpse the next stage, which is situated between offensive chanting and pure chanting. When one attains the pure stage, he is immediately liberated. This is called Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. As soon as one is liberated from the blazing fire of material existence, he can relish the taste of transcendental life.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, let's stop there.
Okay, Prabhu.
Prabhupada is saying, if we take the chanting serious, we can come to the level of Baba Mahadabagni Nivarpanam. All the extinguishes the fire of material life. So if, for example, we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and our material fever or jaundice is not getting cured or is not going down, that means that we are not doing something properly, isn't it? If we are given medicine, doctor gives us medicine, and the doctor said, take one in the morning, take one in the afternoon, and take one in the evening. And you say, oh, I don't know why this doctor, I don't like medicine, Why this doctor is giving me, I should take 3 times. Okay, I will just take only one in the morning, and I think that should be okay for me. Then after some time taking that medicine, then you go back to the doctor. Say, doctor, my disease is not going, I'm still having so much challenges. And the doctor will ask, are you taking your medicine? He say, yes, I'm taking. But if you're really taking, the thing is supposed to go. So who is deceiving who now? Who is deceiving who? Okay, so Prabhupada has given us how we can get liberated and free from material anxiety, lamentation, anchoring, miseries, distress, frustration, anxiety, anger. Because when we chant the holy name of Krishna, Cheto Darpana Marjana, all these things will be cleansed. All our heart will be cleansed. Then gradually we can be able to separate ourselves. We can see ourselves different from all these qualities that we exhibit, unconsciously. Some of these qualities, we exhibit them unconsciously. We just act. After acting is when we realize that, it's like, I'm not supposed to do that, So when we are chanting very sincerely and truly, we can be able to see those qualities and say, calm down, see it. And you separate yourself from those qualities and you start controlling them consciously. You start controlling them consciously. But if you don't chant very attentively and carefully, regularly every day, the lower modes will still be pushing you. Then those things that you know that is not good, that is not making you to be happy, or maybe other devotees don't like them, you find yourself doing them again. Oh no, why did I do that? Oh, it's not good, but I'm doing it again. You become helpless. Because why? You are still under the influence of mode of passion and ignorance. So gradually we are supposed to elevate ourselves. And the only way we can do that is by regularly, carefully, attentively, a proper mention, chanting the names of Krishna every day. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur even goes further by saying you should pick a particular spot. And that particular spot is where you should chant every day, because it's very good for your mind. Let's say, for example, in your house, you should pick a particular spot. Don't just jump around every day. In your house, pick a particular spot for your chanting. Every day, go to that spot to chant. It's very helpful for the mind. You will see some devotee, when they're supposed to chant in the temple room, they carry their beads, they go on the roadside, chanting. How are you going to be attentive when you go on the roadside to chant in the early morning? It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult. You are supposed to, in that morning time, you're supposed to pick if you are staying in the temple, pick your spot. That is why I love Radha Gopinath Mandir, Chopati in Mumbai. Every devotee has his own spot in the morning. They chant in a group. Every devotee has his own spot. So immediately after the Fitasi Puja, they already picked their spot. You will see that devotee in that spot every day. Because it's very helpful for the controlling of the mind. So even at your house, you should pick a spot. That spot should be for your chanting every day. You can pick another spot for reading. This is how to control the mind. So whenever you want to chant, you pick that spot, you go to that spot, you chant every day. In that way, you try as much as possible to be attentive in the chanting. Because if we really take this prescription very seriously, as is prescribed to us, we'll be seeing the changes, we'll be feeling the changes in our life. If we are practicing devotee, and we have been practicing for 20 years, 30 years, and our bad habit is not going away, there is something wrong in the way we are practicing. There is something wrong. Because if we are truly, sincerely following the instruction as given by Srila Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada in this purport, the material disease, all our narutas will be going down. If we can consciously see them and working on them, they will not take us by surprise again. We are consciously taking control of our life. So this chanting of the holy name is the medicine. We have to take the medicine every day at a particular time. Is very, very important for our spiritual upliftment. Very, very important. Every day, for example, the devotee who are staying at home, let's say, for example, you pick that you want to chant every day 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock before going to office. Or you pick another time that is convenient for you, depending on what is your time schedule in the office. That time, don't miss it for chanting every day. Because the mind, when you want to control the mind, you have to learn to control the mind with constant situation. You know, means, okay, if I'm supposed to chant every day, 6 o'clock, every day you should do that chanting. It's very helpful in controlling the mind and trying to be attentive. We should not chant and be pressing phones. We should not chant and watch movies. We should not chant and be doing something else. Chatting. That is inattentive chanting. And Srila Bhakti says, inattentive chanting is the mother of all offenses. So let's continue listening to Srila Prabhupada's purport. We have to, you know, it's very, 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 I just like to emphasize more about this chanting because Prabhupada mentions that 99.9% of our advancement in spiritual life depend on our chanting. So every devotee who is very, very intelligent should know that you have to strategize on how to improve your chanting. Because we know that this 99.9% of our advancement depend on chanting. So if I know that this is where my advancement is, so my duty is to strategize on how to improve my chanting every day of my life. Let's continue.
All right.
Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
The conclusions is that in order to get freed from the material disease, one must take to the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for creating an atmosphere in which people can take to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. One must begin with faith, and when this faith is increased by chanting, a person can become a member of the society. We are attending Sankintan parties all over the world, and they are experiencing that even in the remotest part of the world, where there is no knowledge of Krishna. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra attracts thousands of men to our camp. In some areas, people begin to imitate the devotees by shaving their heads and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Only a few days after hearing the mantra, this may be imitative, but imitations of a good thing is desired. Some imitators gradually become interested in being initiated by the spiritual master and offer themselves for initiation. If one is sincere, he is initiated, and this stage is called Vajana Kriya. One then actually engaged in the service of the Lord by regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds daily and refraining from illicit sex, intoxicants, meat eating, and gambling. By Vajana Kriya, one attains freedom from the contamination of materialistic life. He no longer goes to a restaurant or a hotel to taste so-called palatable dishes made with meat and onions, nor does he care to smoke or drink tea or coffee. He not only refrains from illicit sex but avoids sex life entirely, nor he is interested in wasting his time in speculating or gambling. In this way, it is to be understood that one is becoming cleansed of unwanted things. Anartha nibrite. The word anartha refers to unwanted things. Anarthas are vanquished when one becomes attached to Krishna consciousness movement. When a person is relieved from unwanted things, he becomes fixed in executing his Krishna activities. Indeed, he becomes attached to such activities and experience ecstasy in executing devotional service. This is called Bhav, the preliminary awakening of dormant love of Godhead. Thus, the conditioned soul becomes free from material existence and loses interest in the bodily conception of life, including material opulence, material knowledge, and material attraction of all variety. At such a time, one can understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is and what his Maya is. Although Maya may be present, it cannot disturb a devotee once he attains the Bab stage. This
Baba.
is because Baba. This is because the devotee can see the real position of Maya. Maya means forgetfulness of Krishna, and forgetfulness of Krishna and Krishna consciousness stand side by side, like light and shadow. If one remains in shadow, he cannot enjoy the facilities offered by the light. And if one remains in light, he cannot disturb by the darkness of shadow. By taking to Krishna consciousness, one gradually becomes liberated and remains in light. Indeed, he does not even touch the darkness, as confirmed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22.31. Krishna, Surya Sama Maya, Kaya Andakara, Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi, Mayara Adikara. Krishna is compared to sunshine, and Maya is compared to darkness. Whenever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of external energy will immediately vanish. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. In just that short purport we just read now, Prabhupada described Nectar of Devotion, what Srila Rupa Goswami described in Nectar of Devotion about the stages of Bhakti, devotional service, starting from Shraddha, Bhajana Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anatta Nivriti, Ruchi, Rati, attachment, Ashakti, and Bhava. So Srila Prabhupada just briefly explained these different levels in that purport we just read now. So everything begins from faith, having faith in the holy name. Then gradually we associate with devotees, we engage in devotional service and Anatta Nivriti. But the point is that Anatta Nivriti, sometimes it takes devotee very long time for us to be able to get over. Sometimes it can take us a whole lifetime also, our Anatta Nivriti. That is giving up on wanted things. That is why you see some devotees, even after practicing devotional service for many years, they are thinking, oh, we're too much strict. I want to eat pizza. They can still eat pizza, from the restaurants where they're making all the other things, it's too much strict on regulation. Please, let me take some ice cream, it's too much, because Anatta Nivriti is still there. The taste for buying things and eating, enjoying all those things that are outside there, as they are prepared by materialistic people, is still very strong in us. So as long as they don't put meat, I can enjoy these things. Even to the extent that sometimes you see some devotee, they want to enjoy chocolate, there's too much strict and regulation, what is wrong with chocolate? Oh, give me, So like, because those devotees, they are not chanting very seriously. They are not. If you are chanting seriously and attentively, naturally you will lose taste in all these materialistic things. You only want to take Krishna Prasad. What is offered to Krishna? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that Anatta Nivriti, it takes us long time sometimes. Because as long as we immediately we come to Ruchi, develop this, and we come to Ashakti, we're already on the perfect stage. We already develop love for Krishna. We start chanting and we'll be shedding tears. Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purports, I've forgotten where I found it, where I saw it before. I'm still looking for it. I will get it one day. Prabhupada said every devotee should try as much as possible to come to the level of Ashakti before leaving the body. Ashakti means strong attachment to Krishna. Because strongly attached to Krishna. So chanting is everything in devotional service. Now we don't have taste for it. But by consciously and strategizing how to chant every day, you know that tomorrow you want to chant your rounds. You are not sleeping by 11, 12 o'clock. then you don't want to chant. You are just deceiving yourself. You don't want to chant. Because once you don't chant in the morning, you cannot chant peacefully during the day. You will drag the chanting from that time till midnight again. You start struggling to finish the round at night. Hare Krishna, Hare. You start struggling. Immediately you finish, you drop it. Then again, you stay till late 12 o'clock again. Then you cannot chant in the morning again. So many devotees like that, they drag their chanting for many years like this. Many years. Then when you see something happen to such devotee, you say, oh, that Prabhu, for many years. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Because if you are not attentively practicing, don't be surprised what may happen at any time. On a very high, we have one road in Abuja. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. Abuja is the capital of Nigeria. So the roads in Abuja they're very wide and they're very fast. And on that highway, many a time there's always accident there. You know why? Because cars are always moving very fast. So anytime you make mistake, you just stop a little bit. Boom, everyone come from the back. Boom, and now come. Boom, and so even on a very high and very nice road, there are accidents. That's what I'm trying to say. So in spiritual life, we have to be very, very careful. You may see the devotee, he has been in movement of many years. Then towards the end of his life, you see he's becoming bewildered. He's doubting Krishna consciousness. He starts going to associate with other people because he's not attentively practicing. Then he starts deviating. He's going to this group, he's going to that group because he's not practicing attentively. So it's easier to just jump here and there. If you are sincerely following Srila Prabhupada's instruction, you cannot go anywhere because everything you need to attain perfection is here in ISKCON. Any comment, question, or contribution? Yeah, Chaitanya Chandra, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, with the chanting, so if one is struggling to chant their rounds like this for a long time, then they'll start to philosophize the Srila Prabhupada's philosophy, like interpret it in a way so that they think it's okay to do some things, like for instance to buy and eat karmi grains at restaurants, vegetarian, even if it has onions and garlic in it. Then they think, oh, it's okay. I can take out the onions and garlic and then offer it to Krishna, and then take the pancit with the onions and garlic, and then because the onions and garlic, I took them out, so it's okay, Or they may start to drink Coca-Cola, or to drink decaf coffee because they think, oh, anyway, it's just soda, or it's decaf. There's hardly any caffeine in there, so it's okay. I can drink that also, Or coffee is a fruit, They say coffee is a fruit. So Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So you offer me with love and devotion, then I will accept it, So many philosophies that people can come up with, when they're not practicing seriously. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you very much for saying that. Yes, you're right. So you might have come across some senior devotees who are speaking like this also in your area. It's because they are not attentively chanting. See, I don't need anybody to tell me to see a devotee who is attentively chanting. I don't need anybody to tell me. When I see a devotee who is attentively chanting, I will know. Because you will just see everything around him. If you're not attentively chanting, you will always, find it very difficult, with so many in managing your emotions and everything, because you're not conscious. Because we have to be conscious before we become Krishna conscious. And one of the very easier way to be conscious is to attentively chant. If you're not conscious, you cannot be Krishna conscious. Never. So how do you become conscious? Is to attentively chant. When you are chanting, feel the beats in your hand, feel the beats. If you are not feeling your beat, you are not chanting. You have to feel this beat. You have to feel it. And as you are counting it, you have to be feeling it. As you are chanting and hearing the chanting, you are feeling the beat. That is what the beat is meant for, to feel the beat as you are counting it. That is attentive chanting. You try to concentrate on the beat. Sometimes our mind may run away. Then we quickly see that we are finished the chanting. Then you bring the mind back and try to concentrate on feeling each of the beats as you are chanting. That is the work we need to do. That is the only work we need to do to become perfect. Oh. We don't need to do any other work. Attentively chant and hear as we are hearing now. Then gradually all those our bad habits will be easy for us to give them away. Another contribution or question? I like more of question also. Yeah, Ashray Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I remember this one lecture from Prabhu Mahatma Das. He mentioned there that our like self-compassion has to do a lot with our like chanting. And he mentioned that if we have less self-compassion, it's very hard for us to chant. So we all know that Krishna loves us, and sometimes we are like beating ourselves, like we are like saying, "Oh, why Krishna love me? I'm so dirty. I'm impure." But then actually, He loves us because He's wonderful. He's great. He's amazing. That's why He loves us. And if we try to like accept that in ourselves, that as He mentioned, that if we have compassion, like we are accepting and then neglecting what is good for us, and if we understand that chanting is good for us, then we will develop some taste. So I just want to share that,
Thank you very
because
much.
I also wanna really be attentive with my chanting. So I kinda like wanted to listen to those people. How can you really be attentive in your chanting? So I just wanna share that. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Actually, attentive chanting is what we really need to work on. That is why it is mentioned in that verse. We have to carefully, regular, everyday chants. Carefully means attentively, also proper mention also when it was explaining the purpose. We have to careful and attentively chant. Attentive chanting, I've seen devotee chanting in different ways. I've seen devotee chanting in different ways. Sometimes very funny, eh? You'll be hearing machine gun chanting. You'll be thinking, what is this purpose saying? You know, Hare Dam, Hare Dam, 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 you know. So some people, they want to hide that, so they will not chant out. They will just be chanting inside. But if you don't, but properly mentioned in Chitai Charitamrita, the proper way of chanting is that you chant in a way that you can hear yourself and others can hear you. That's how to control the mind. You can hear yourself and others can hear you. That is called mantra meditation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You have to put so much effort in practicing doing meditative chanting properly. I remember when I was at Brahmachari, sometimes when many devotees see me chanting now, they don't know that I've also passed through so many, situations for me to really work on my chanting. And devotees have really helped me also to work on my chanting. Because I remember when I was in Mayapur, one time, I woke up very early, I was chanting. And I was chanting, but my mind, naturally, our mind is always dragging on here and there. But I was not chanting, I was missing something. Maybe I was missing one Krishna. So we were in parikrama. So one Russian devotee, he put a recorder at my back. So as I was chanting Hare Krishna, because he knows very well that if you try to control me, try to correct me without no evidence, I will be angry. So no one likes to be corrected. We don't like to be corrected. No, we don't like somebody to correct us. We always be angry when people correct us. So he knows that if he try to correct me without no evidence, I'll be very angry. So he recorded my chanting. Then when I was thinking that I'm chanting and, then he touched me. He said, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please, can you listen to your chanting? Then he played it to me. And I was hearing my chanting. Hare Krishna, I was missing one Krishna. I was missing one Ram, like that. And I say, oh, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Then I become very attentive in trying to not to miss. So we have to really work attentively. And if you don't want anybody to record your chanting, when you are chanting alone, record your own chanting and play it to yourself later. Try it. Try this. When you are chanting alone, chant alone. Because when we are chanting, sometimes we become absent-minded. So record your own chanting and play it to yourself later. Then you can correct yourself. Yeah, Rasaraj Prabhu, your hands is up. Please go ahead. Rasaraj Prabhu, please go ahead.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was on mute.
What's up?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to ask, because Prabhupada mentioned that on the purport there were three stages of the chanting, which is the offensive, the cleansing, and the pure
Yes.
stage of chanting, Namaparad, Namabas, and Sudanam. I just want to ask, is it offensive chanting? Can we refer that to Kanishta Adhikari?
Yes.
And the other stages of devotee. Can you explain more further with regards to this?
Thank you very much. Offensive chanting, like every morning we recite 10 offenses. Like to blaspheme or criticize a devotee who have dedicated their life for chanting the holy name of the Lord. That's number one offense. We do that every time. We take pleasure in criticizing devotees. For us, considering the name of demigod like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, we will not have so much problem with that. So we don't need to worry so much about that. Because we don't even know the position of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. Krishna, Prabhupada has explained to us the position of Krishna, we accepted. So we don't need to bother. But for Indians, that is a big trouble for some of them who come from traditional Indians who know about Lord Shiva and all these demigods. Some of them, it may be a big trouble for them. Okay? So we don't need to worry about that. But the number third offense is disobeying the order of the spiritual master. That one is a big thing for us. Our spiritual master asks us to chant 60 rounds every day and follow the 4 regulating principles. Again and again, we are breaking the principles and we are not chanting 16 rounds. So we are disobeying the order of the spiritual masters. That is offensive chanting. Blaspheming the Vedic literature or literature in portions of the Vedic action. So for us, we don't have so much problem with that also. In India, they have so much problem with that. Okay? But what we need to know so that we will not be offensive in that aspect is that don't criticize other people's scripture, like Bible, like Quran. Don't do that. Don't criticize other people's scripture, because scripture are given to people based on their level of their consciousness. So don't criticize other people's scripture. By doing that, you avoid that offense. Okay? Then we have number 5. What is number 5? Number 5 is to somebody can remind me? Unmute yourself and say it.
Sorry, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna
Consider.
through the imagination.
As imagination. Very good. Yes, to consider the glory of that one is very, very big. Because many of us, we don't have so much faith in the chanting. That's why we are not chanting anyway. That's why we're struggling with chanting, because we don't have so much faith. But to consider the glory of Krishna, the glory of your chanting is to be imagination. Like he mentioned, that if you chant one Krishna, it's enough to even counteract even the sin that you have not comprehended on your name. This is not exaggeration. It's because you have not really chanted the name of Krishna. That's why you don't understand that. We are still chanting on offensive stage. When we chant the pure Shuddha name of Krishna, then we can understand the meaning of this. So we should not consider the glories of chanting to be imagination. Now, the other one is to give some mundane interpretation of the only name of the Lord. To tell people, if you chant, you become rich. You chant, you free from disease. You know, to be equating chanting to material benefits. That is very offensive, because the result of chanting the only name of Krishna is to develop pure love for Krishna, Krishna prem. Other things, all these things we are talking about, they are byproducts. They may come, they may not come, but the result of chanting the only name of Krishna is to develop Krishna prem, pure love for Krishna. Then number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the strength. Just like many of us, we come from a Christian background, so we are used to that. We commit sins during the week. We go on Sunday, Father, forgive me. I did this, I did that. Then on Monday again, we continue to commit the sin. Then on Saturday, Sunday, we come, please forgive me, forgive me. So to commit sin, breaking the principle and all the rest, and we come to Krishna to chant the only name of Krishna to counteract that sin is offensive on chanting. Then 8 is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activity, offering the beggars, to consider chanting Jagya to be equal to chanting, very offensive. You cannot imagine the benefits of chanting. It's Krishna directly. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Chintaya Rasavigra Krishna. Binatwam Naminamino. Krishna's name is not different from Krishna. So you cannot equate it to any ritualistic activity in the Vedas. You cannot equate it. You are directly relating Sakshat with Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead himself. That is the power, the chanting. Then number 9, to instruct a faithless person. You go outside, somebody who does not have faith in Krishna. Oh, chant, so that you develop love for Krishna. I say, get out of here. What do you mean by Krishna? Huh? So, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of chanting is very offensive to chanting. So it means before you can instruct somebody to chant, at least you have to build the faith of the person for some time. And number 10, to now complete faith in the chanting of the only name and to maintain material attachment, which all of us we are still doing. So material attachment, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter, all of us we see have so many material attachments. People haven't know that, but chanting is everything. We see have Krishna, please give me job. Krishna, give me money. Krishna, give me good husband. Krishna, give me good wife. Krishna, give me this. Krishna, give me that. We see material attachment. Even we know that chanting of the only name of Krishna, pure devotion service is the highest. We see have some material attachment. We should not worry about all this naturally, okay? Because offensive chanting, the only way to cure offensive chanting is to chant more. Chant more, chant more, chant more. That is the only way to give up offensive chanting. If you want to give up offensive chanting, chant more, chant more, chant more, chant more, chant. Take vow to chant on a Ekadasi day, on special days, chant more, chant 64 rounds on those special days. Just continue to chant. There's no other special way to give up offensive chanting. It's by chanting more. And Srila Bhakti mentioned, to be inattentive in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is an offense also. And Srila Bhakti mentioned that inattentive chanting actually is the mother of all offenses. So we have to be watchful. We have to try to be attentive in our chanting. So Chaitanya Chandra quickly, then we'll go to Ashraya Mataji. We have 2 minutes more, okay? We have to be fast.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So there's this statement here by Srila Prabhupada that it's in the section where you're talking about the 10 basic offenses. If the devotee avoids these, he can glimpse the next stage which is situated between offensive chanting and pure chanting. When one attains the pure stage, he is immediately liberated. This is called Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So I was curious, what does Prabhupada mean by the pure stage? Because, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that Haridas Thakur said that if one chants without offense, then he is immediately liberated, no? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Haridas Thakur. So that's Namabas. But then Prabhupada is saying when one attains the pure stage, so does that mean Sudanam? Or what does he mean when he says the Bhava Mahadavagni Nivapanam stage?
Baba Mahadavagni Nivapanam stage means Namabas. Because immediately once you chant, there's one verse, I cannot search it now because my computer is misbehaving. There's one verse, it says, if one is chanting on the Nama, if you come to the level of Namabas chanting, you're already liberated. Because Namabas chanting is not ordinary also. Because at that level, you're already lessening offenses. So if one can even chant sincerely on the Namabas, you're already liberated. When you chant on the Shuddha Nam platform, you're already in Prema. Prema, pure love for Krishna. When you say Krishna, you start crying in ecstasy. You start feeling separation from the Holy Land. You say, Krishna, where are you? Krishna. One moment you'll be calling like millions of years. You cannot tolerate staying in your body. You're just chanting and crying, Krishna, Krishna, my life is useless without you. Oh, I've wasted my life just studying and doing all this nonsense. Chanting on pure level, pure state. You cannot tolerate staying without Krishna. You'll just be feeling separation from Krishna. That is Shuddhanam, pure love for Krishna. You'll be crying incessantly. So that is it. Ashray Mataji, we take you then we stop. Thank you.
Prabhu Ji, I mean like Prabhu Mahatma has mentioned also like what you have mentioned that like Krishna actually loving us, but through chanting the holy name is our expression of our love to him, and he's waiting for that kind of love. And it's not about just like we're like a robot like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. He mentioned that we have to internalize that, and it actually resonates in my heart. So I wanna ask how can we really like chant that kind of mood to really like, oh Krishna, I wanna love you, I wanna love you, I wanna love you. So I wanted to ask how to develop that kind of mood.
You pray to Krishna. You pray to Krishna. Only Krishna can give you his name. You pray sincerely in your heart and cry to Krishna. See, when you already internalize the name of Krishna, when you are chanting, you will not fall asleep. Okay? When you are still struggling with sleep when you are chanting, means that the name, you have not internalized the name. You are still struggling with ignorance. Okay? So we have to pray to Krishna to give us his name. I'll just give quick experience. I remember when I came to devotional service, very long time ago. When I came to the temple, I saw during Japa time, every devotee chanting and falling asleep. And I was reading that we're supposed to be attentive in chanting. I said, no, I don't want to be like this. No, because it's natural. See, why many devotees chant and fall asleep? Because they made the system. That is how it's supposed to be. So once you join the system, you key into the system. You must chant and fall asleep. But when I came into the system, I said, no, I don't want to chant and fall asleep. So I cried to Krishna. I said, when I was at home, Krishna, I used to watch television, 24 hours, not falling asleep. Now I want to chant your name, I'm falling asleep. No, I don't want that, Krishna. And after making that, I cried sincerely, I prayed that time. After that time, I saw changes in my chanting. So we have to cry. you have to cry. It means you shed tears. You pray to Krishna, you shed tears. If you know the meaning of chanting, you have to cry and shed tears. Krishna, please help me in my chanting. Please, I want to develop a taste in absorption in chanting your names. You have to cry. You have to cry. Cry doesn't mean you are praying. Cry means you are crying like a baby. If you don't cry for Krishna, Krishna will not take you serious. So we have to learn to cry. So if we don't feel like crying, we have to pray so that we can cry. Because unless you cry for the mercy, Krishna, I want to be attentive to your chanting. I don't want to fall asleep. Why should I fall asleep while chanting? I want to be attentive while chanting your name. Then Krishna will give us his mercy by the mercy of the Guru. So we should pray. Prayer is very, very powerful, very, very powerful. We have to learn how to pray to Krishna. Krishna listens to prayers. From my personal experience, anytime I'm in a serious situation and I go and pray and cry, Krishna listens. I will see changes. If I'm feeling comfortable and just talking to Krishna, I don't see anything. But when I cry to Krishna, then I will see changes. So when we pray and cry to Krishna, Krishna will help us. Okay? So we stop here. We continue on Monday.
Thank you so much, Babaji.
Hare Krishna. Please let us read the next verse. Now we have 2 days in advance. Let's find 1 hour to read the next verse, because let me see, the next verse, just 1 minute. I want to be sure what I saw. Like, the essence of all the advice is that once you utilize one full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastime of the Lord, gradually engage one's tongue and mind in the way one should reside in Braj. Okay? So now, Srila Rupa Goswami is talking about when you become attached to Krishna, what is the next thing to do? Okay? Don't try to rush to the dam when you are not become attached to chanting in the name of Krishna. You will go there, you start behaving the way you are behaving in Manila. You start seeing so many faults, you start finding faults in the people in the dam, you start criticizing this, criticizing that, you start looking for money to maintain yourself because you don't have faith in chanting of the only name of Krishna. So only when we become attached to the devotional service, we have become attached to Krishna, then we can go and stay in the holy dam. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami is trying to tell us in the next verse. So let us study it and try to internalize it before Monday, okay? Jai. Hare Krishna.
Like Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you so